Sorry guys, I had to wait because oh, that's really bad for the screen. You guys can't even see the screen really. Let's see if I can. I had to wait because I just realized they're playing like music that's licensed, so I didn't want to get like flagged for my video, so that's why I stopped it. You guys really can't see the screen. I wish it allowed you to adjust the brightness. Well, no, the band was playing like Beach Boys and things like that, and then I'm like, oh wait, I better not start it yet. But I really apologize for the TV screen. Like it says knots. I don't know if you can like see. So you can see through my hand, kind of. It shows knots on there. Hopefully, it's gonna like show it better.
It's because the lights behind the screen are super bright.
Lights off? Yeah, that'd probably be it. Because I wish that like with the normal camera, you can usually on the main camera you can adjust the touch the screen and it will lower the brightness. But through the YouTube app, it doesn't do that. Yeah, King Cut is really good. I like Top Thrill Dragster better though because they don't have the over-the-shoulder restraints. But apparently,
Happy National Roller Coaster Day! Welcome to the all-new Boardwalk Barbecue Restaurant. I hope you enjoyed your meals. Well, I wanted to start off by thanking you all for being with us here tonight for this exciting announcement for our all-new attraction coming in 2018. Now, I have to say, we really enjoyed the speculation that's been out there about what's to come. Some guesses have been pretty damn close, almost too close. Some guesses couldn't be farther off. But regardless, we always enjoy the passion that you guys have for our park. Now, before we officially spill the beans on what's to come, we want to share with you a little bit of our evolution, our legacy, and the innovation throughout the years. Here you go.
sorry guys about this. Hopefully you guys can see maybe. Oh, you can see a little better.
We're having a little technical difficulty. I apologize.
No guys, it didn't actually lag. It's actually the TV. They're having difficulties.
Move on, because the sound's not working either. So it would have sounded a lot better with music. But as you know, we do have a great roller coaster legacy here, from corkscrew to accelerator. So we're excited to talk about what's next. And here to talk about what's next is our VP and General Manager, John Sturbeck.
Lag the ride.
So she forgot to say someone actually guessed it exactly. We won't tell you who that was, but you know, National Roller Coaster Day, talking about a roller coaster history, that gives you a little hint, doesn't it, about what we're going to talk about today. So thank you all for joining us this evening. I'm so appreciative that you came out and spent a little time. You're spending a little time with us this evening, and I'm also really excited that you had the opportunity to try the food at Boardwalk Barbecue. It's our newest restaurant here at Knott's, and we're very, very proud of it. And you're going to have the opportunity later on to hear a little bit more about the restaurant and what's going on here in our food and beverage area. You know, Knott's is, it's no secret that Knott's evolved from a humble little berry stand to be one of Southern California's most popular theme park destinations. We're very, very proud of that history, but we always want to have an eye toward the future. And Knott's has played, as you saw in this video, a significant role in theme park history, and in particular in roller coaster history. As Cherie told you, we had the very first corkscrew inversion coaster in 1990, the very first flywheel launch coaster, and the very first hydraulically launched coaster here. And we are excited to share with you tonight another first here at Knott's Berry Farm. So coming in 2018, we are going to debut the first dive coaster on the West Coast with the steepest drop in California. It is a Gerstlauer infinity coaster
Told you guys.
We call HangTime.
And one of you guys doubted me.
Unlike any coaster we have in the park, and is sure to excite even the most daring coaster fan. And it's another great addition to our boardwalk themed area. So, picture? Well, I'll tell you what, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but I have somebody else that's going to come up here that has 1,000 words to share with you. And that's our Vice President of Maintenance and Project Development, Jeff Gahagan. Jeff?
Welcome everybody. Like John mentioned, we did have the first of a lot of launch coasters. We had the two. We had the first free spinning coaster with Mock over at Sierra Sidewinder. And this year we're bringing you HangTime. You can see it here and you're looking at it going, why? What's going on with that ride there? It is, have you heard of the Daredevil dive? Any of you ridden that at Six Flags Georgia? Yeah. 95 feet. We're going 150 feet. You're hanging at the edge there. We're 2,198 feet, so a lot further. 3 trains with 16 passengers each. And what that is configurations of 4. So there will be 4 rows, 4 guests per row. And the maximum velocity is 57 miles per hour. Now let's get to the fun stuff. The fun part about this ride, I mentioned that it's 150 feet. You're going to go up and you're actually going to hold at the top at 60 degrees for 2 seconds. And what are you going to do? You're going to drop 96 degrees back into it. It actually says 90, but
Coaster David said Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster.
Daredevil Dive does. 3 inversions on Daredevil Dive, we're going 5 inversions. We have a 60-degree holding brake, like I said, at the top of the lift. That'll hold you there for 2 seconds. It'll have a negative G stall loop, which is the second one in the Western Hemisphere. And like we said before, it is the first dive coaster on the West Coast. That's all we get. So the footprint we're going into, you guys have already figured it out. There's been tons of photos out there. And we're going to take you out into the site and show you some of the walkthrough of the location. We're actually going to head out going through the gates this way, around Boardwalk Barbecue. You're going to follow me. We're going to take you up to an overview of the entire site, and then I can go into where all of the different elements of the ride will be. So we'll go ahead and head that way. And I'll lead you. Don't go without me.
Roller coaster enthusiast, he said it's a Gerstlauer infinity coaster, just like I had posted like days ago. I don't know why a lot of people doubted me, but because basically you can go to the city planning office and view what's going to be put in and stuff.
Bless you. A lot of you got a photo of the TV screen. I want to make sure you pay attention to the TV screen when we come back. Okay? I'll talk about why when we come back, when we get back into the boardwalk. So don't just go right in the way to come up and watch the TV screen. We're going to go ahead and head into the boardwalk, into the back area of the ride. So how long ago, is everybody, please, 2013, or 2004 when we opened Silver Bullet, now we're finally here. Awesome.
This is where media becomes a contact. There may be some dirt.
There may be some dirt. There may be a lot of dirt. So as we walk through these gates, you can probably remember, those of you that have been in the park, this was a cut through for the amusement park to go through. We actually planned this project for over 2 years, hence why Boardwalk Barbecue is pushed out as far as it is. This will no longer be a Midway. So our Midway flow will actually be bringing our guests all the way around, and you'll be able to see all the features from the main Midway and the Boardwalk. So you guys will actually be standing in the back when I give the presentation, and I'll point out how all of the features will be visible from the Midway. But we'll go ahead and enter through this way. Hi guys! Hey! We're going to go ahead and go upstairs, up these stairs, right up here, and I can give you guys an idea of what we have going on here.
See, they have the surfboards out there.
Okay.
Anyone know what like McKinney is? I don't know. There looks on the blue when it says that, but.
This presentation as it continues, we're live at the construction site for a new dive coaster at Knott's Berry Farm.
There's a surfboard out there.
Several surfboards.
Yeah.
What's the I saw one of the blue one. It said McKinney or something like that.
Well, that's just the surfboard manufacturer.
Oh, okay. So that's what that is, guys. It's like for the manufacturer.
Window space over on this side as well.
Hold on. Let me try to get this closer for you guys.
Oh my god, the forts we could make.
That's not gonna work.
While we're waiting for everybody to come up, a little history on this location. This is our employee dining facility. It actually is called Lakeside Terrace. It was actually built right next to the corkscrew. If you remember, there was a lake under the corkscrew. That's why it's Lakeside Terrace. So this building will stay. This is a view time that hardly anybody gets to come up here other than employees. So, but it's a great overview of this site. We just have a couple more coming in.
No, get out of here. No.
A lot of you have seen my face already. I post videos with my face.
The reason why is I will talk through what the different surfboards are. That actually are just place markers out there.
and you can also reference the drawing right above my head. Now think of this, this is a mirror image of what you're actually going to see out there. So you're flipping it around, we're looking at it from as if you were standing out in front of coasters looking down the Midway. So just so you can see that it is a flipped image. The first part we're going to get to is there is a blue surfboard out there by a pile of concrete at the edge of the dirt piles. That is actually where the top of the lift is. That is a straight vertical 90-degree lift. It is a chain lift. It actually works opposite to most coasters. The chain actually has the dog that pulls the train up. A lot of coasters actually usually have the dog on the car. Instead, it's actually being pushed up. What happens if it gets stuck? It actually has magnetic braking coming down. So there is not an actual whole brake on there. It'll actually lower itself all the way down. And then there is actually a platform lift that goes up to the top if for some reason that whole brake at the top was to hold. So those aren't in the illustration for obvious reasons, but that's how it does work. You will hold, like I said, where it is in the picture there. Actually, the furthest point on the coaster, it actually goes a little bit beyond the surfboard. So that's your first inversion coming in, and you actually have two on that loop. One going into it and one coming out of it. As you go through, there's now a white surfboard, which is the, right here. You're coming in and it's doing somewhat of a corkscrew. It only has one. You're then coming back towards the station, back past the lift, which is where back to the blue surfboard again, and that's where you'll have the high bank curve. You'll then come in and you'll go through a cobra roll, but prior to the cobra roll, you're gonna see the track disappears. In both of those locations, the track will actually go 5 feet below the Midway. So it's actually diving down even lower than our existing Midway. You go through and then you'll have inversions 4 and 5, and then come into the brake run, which is on the back stretch. Any questions about it? How do you go straight up? 90 degrees. So it'll actually take one train. There is no block system on the ride, so it is just one train at a time. There's actually 2 different brakes. Yes?
How powerful is the G-force?
G's, actually we haven't even discussed those yet. At all. We've talked about speed. So speed I did not cover, was 57 miles per hour in the ride.
Why this kind of coaster?
Why this kind of coaster? Good question. We wanted something that was thrill. We've been focused on family for several years. We did talk about putting the thrill coaster in several years ago, but we wanted to get the whole family back into the park. We finally feel that we have gotten a balance with the family, and we haven't had anything since Silver Bullet came in, so this is now the time to do this.
What's the hourly capacity?
800.
800.
800 guests per hour.
Is it going to be lap bars only?
No, it'll be lap bars. In Cedar Fair, we have seat belts on every single one of our.
But I mean, but no
over the shoulder restraints. Correct.
How many total inversions?
5 inversions total.
Okay.
So the corkscrew was originally here, Boomerang was originally here with loops, and now we've got a more looping.
We have more loops.
Coaster.
So,
but why doesn't it have any of the colors from the corkscrew? I noticed it looks a lot like Boomerang. Was there any plan to incorporate some of the corkscrew?
There is a reason, and I did say when we get back over there, I want you to pay attention to the TV. So I will be talking about that more. So there is a reason why these columns are silver and light blue in this area. Those of you that aren't familiar with it, like he did mention, this is where corkscrew was. This is where Boomerang was. Down at the far end is where Hammerhead and Riptide was. So those of you that saw when we ripped out Riptide, it turned into a blank grass planter. Now you know it was on purpose.
When will this open?
This will open summer of 2018. The other part down at the, you'll see there is one last building standing. That's the backside of the Hammerhead Riptide building, and that is actually getting torn down next week. So we're going all the way from Charleston Circle up to the Sky Cabin. Yes?
Is the 2-car train, and how many trains?
There's 3 trains, and then it's actually, they're actually 4 individual rows,
right,
is what they are. It's actually not 2 cars of 2. So it's 4 rows, they're each individual.
But is it 2 connected, or is it one big car?
No, it's 4 connected.
Okay.
So 4 individuals.
4 rows.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Millennial Flyers that we have on Ghost Rider, how the individual seats are individual cars.
What's the time duration?
80 seconds of ride time.
Does it have 1 or 2 loading platforms?
It has 1 loading platform.
Okay.
Are the trains going to have like different themes to each train, or are they all going to be pretty uniform?
They're going to be pretty uniform with the exception of the headrest. They are going to have a surfing theme. So the headrest will actually be themed as surfboards, and those will be intertwined and mixed around the board.
so they aren't all the same.
How will the queue area look?
The queue area is going to be directly in the middle, right through all the loop areas. You'll actually enter right under the HangTime logo, which is right at the bottom of the lift. There will be a fast lane entry and the regular queue entry. The line is designed to hold 600. Inside that queue, we'll snake back and forth, and we'll be having shade cloths over the top of it, staying with the beach theme in the whole boardwalk area.
Now, when guests ride this, are they able to choose their row, or is it assigned seating?
No, we'll actually have a grouper at the beginning where the fast lane is, and if you want to request the front, because most guests are going to want it, the front for the hang versus the rear.
Yeah.
Some people will want the rear. Our front is the longest queue line, our back is a little longer, and then the middle two are shorter.
Okay.
What's the height requirement?
48 inches.
How long does it leave you hanging again?
2 seconds.
Will you have pictures?
What was that? Yes, it will have a ride-off photo. We have not determined a location for it. So as you come off the ride, you'll exit. It's a through station. So you will enter from the inside of the track. You'll exit on the Midway side, walk down, and then where the t-shirt shop was, it turned into a game, which was a hat shop that you may remember in Charleston Circle. That'll actually be a merchandise and photo opportunity building going through. And we will feature fun picks in there for anybody that does have the fun picks package with their season pass.
Do you know about how fast it goes up the lift hill, or is it pretty slow? Or like
it's
standard?
Pretty quick.
Okay.
I don't have an actual speed on it, but it's pretty quick when it goes up. Well, the longest time is actually sitting in the hold position. There's a hold right before it. And what happens is there's only one dog on the chain.
Okay.
So it's driving up pretty quick. It gets up pretty high speed, comes down, and then the dog sits there at the bottom. So it's ready to go for the next train while the train's making its way through the cycle. As soon as it gets into the brake run and then into the next block in the brake run, the car will advance where the chain dog is already waiting.
Okay. Are there any trims?
Are there any what?
Any trims?
No trims.
Okay.
Are there going to be cubbies?
We have to determine if we're going to do cubbies or lockers. We have not determined that yet, or where those will be.
Will the loading area have ease of access for disability?
Yes, it will. On the exit platform, there will be an elevator and then a holding area inside there before you actually get into the loading area. And that'll be on the unload side, so the Midway side. And you'll enter over by the merchandise facility.
Weight restrictions, etc.?
It's actually, size-wise, they have a 350 per seat, but that's an average based on the actual train capacity is what it is. So you could have somebody that weighs more as long as they fit in the restraint. There'll be a go, no-go on the restraint coming all the way down. It has to click twice, and then the seatbelt on as well.
Will there be a way to check that before getting on the ride?
As of now, there is not a test seat. And then on top of that, so seatbelt-wise, think of the ones over at Accelerator. It's almost the same exact restraint, how you have the T-bar, and then you have the tab that you're pulling off to the side so we can speed up the operation. It'll be a different color tab, so the operators can actually see the guest pull on it rather than having to check lap bar and restraint on every single guest.
Is there like, can you go a little more in detail about the lap bar restraint? Like, what specific type of restraint is it for a lap bar? Like,
they will not release
Oh, okay.
Good try.
What about lighting package?
We'll talk about that when we get back to Boardwalk Barbecue.
Can you tell us cost?
I cannot tell you the cost. A lot.
More than $50?
More than $50, yes. And less than Tower of Terror redo. How's that?
Well played, sir.
Or am I going down for that one?
That's good one.
All right, just check it.
Can you tell us who the manufacturer is?
Gerstlauer. Gerstlauer is. This coaster is confusing because it's very similar to a Eurofighter. So if you look at a Eurofighter, but it's called an Infinity, so it's really and I compared it to the Daredevil dive at Six Flags, and that's because it's basically a Eurofighter on steroids, is really what it is. Those cars, because some of the Eurofighters are 8 passengers, they don't actually have the 16 like we do, so it's just a lot bigger of it. It's the Infinity's the next version up.
How many cars are actually moving on the track at once? Is it just one
just
at a time?
Because of the fact there's no brake block.
Okay.
Right. Yes?
You gonna ride it?
Oh, absolutely. I'm usually the first one to ride almost every single one of the rides, after the manufacturer allows us to.
And just so you know, on Periscope, everybody was loving your Tower of Terror comments.
And my daughter works there, so I guess actually, let me rephrase that. My daughter used to work there.
After that comment.
Talking lighting down there.
Back there.
Yep.
I'm making the call.
She is the sarcastic one. I wonder where she gets it from when she's on the Jungle Cruise.
Did you have sort of any other ideas for like theming or the name of a coaster, or did you just?
The name we went around and around on. Okay, so the ride itself, we really did not talk much about, or to other manufacturers. We knew we wanted something different that didn't exist anywhere else. So the only place, I mean, the fact that it was in Georgia, checking the ride out, and it was a smaller version. We knew there wasn't one on the West Coast. Worked directly with Gerstlauer and said, here's the plot of land. What can you do with it? They came back with a ride that didn't have enough elements to it. So we said, okay, what if you went a little further to the south, and we took out the merchandise building that was also still standing there and the building that we were going to use for the electrical vault, and that's where we got the different elements. So we've been with Gerstlauer since the beginning. That was the original idea we had in it. As far as the theming, the boardwalk we've been establishing over the years, it really started with Accelerator went in. What Accelerator, the story for the boardwalk is, and you'll notice it's Lee's Last Stand, it's you're supposed to be leaving the town and going out as you get to the ocean. Hence why it's called Lee's Last Stand. So it started way back in 2000. As you came out, we had the pool for perilous plunge, and we maintained the water statement just so you were along the boardwalk. And then the sand theme was to tie into the existing theme of the area. So it's been a mesh ever since we started with the Accelerator.
Well, you have a theming queue too?
It'll be, the landscape inside will be a beach theme.
Okay.
And then we're looking at stamped concrete or colored textured concrete. So there'll actually be like shells in there impregnated into the sand, and then the shade cloths over.
Okay.
Nice.
Thanks. Okay, there's got to be more questions.
Any other questions?
Yes.
So is the layout custom designed for your pad size that you had, and then you expanded it, or?
Yeah,
originally intend that?
So the original intent was we knew we wanted a Eurofighter. We actually went to Gerstlauer first for a Eurofighter and said, here's the space, what can you give us? The first that they came back with was only less than 100 feet on the lift, and it only had 3 inversions. So much like the one I had gone to look at. And then we said, okay, what can you do more? They came back with their drawings and overlaid and said, here's what else we can give you, more elements to get the 5 inversions and a bigger track. So it was working with Gerstlauer to develop it to get to a ride that we actually liked. The big sticking point for us was getting to that 96 degrees. We went back and forth, and also the true hold at the top.
I don't know what that is. What is the canawapis whereabouts?
We will be holding you there and hooding on a hold brake. I talked about the fact that it'd be an elevator that goes to the top and the actual platform, because it was talking about just putting magnetic braking. Well, with magnetic, you still have that creep always, since you won't ever have a complete stop. So that was something that we also insisted on. So really those were the 2 elements that we really held back on. And then the first idea was to hold them up, the guests, for 6 seconds. But if you think about 6 seconds, it's a long time.
Sean Lauer, it's going to be your lap bar.
How long was the total planning development phase?
About 2.5 years is when we first started talking about the fact. Actually, I take it back. We have been talking about a coaster for well over 6 years in this area. But as far as when we
they will also have
seat
belts.
Coming out was shortly after we had to make a decision about Riptide. And that's when we really got serious about moving forward. We had the good guest reactions from Ghost Rider when we were going into that project. And so we knew we needed to do something coming up 2 years.
I'll ask when we go
when
back.
we open that right up.
Can you tell us an approximate debut time for this?
Yeah, it's summer of 2017.
Will we be able to see a animation of like a POV animation or anything like that?
Yes, that will be coming up later this year.
Okay.
Any other questions maybe you have? What we can do is
Summer
we can go
2018.
down the stairs. Oh, yes, Mark.
Is there a designated upset stomach zone after the
There are these blue trash cans. We ask that you open the flap all the way, pull out the actual cans, and we have to clean the trash can cover and use that.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but what's the height requirement?
48 inches.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you say when we're going to start seeing anything if we peek?
Yes, you actually, we will be the building that is left, we will be starting on Monday rerouting the fiber optics and power that are in there. That building is actually crucial to the middle of this park. It keeps all of the lights on in here, it keeps the point of sale going, it keeps the log ride, mine ride going. That's being rerouted next week, and foundations will be starting on the 28th. We actually have a permit, and you guys didn't find it.
Should we start lining up now?
You can.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I'll let you know after I write it how it goes.
I think we can start heading back.
What we can do is, and then if you want, you can go to the left a little while and you can check along the railings. Just taking the photos you want. We'll watch you back out to the right.
But I've shown you guys before, like I've seen you guys, most of you guys have seen me before, but got an embroidered shirt. We're gonna go back down and go check out more. Hold on, I got like my tablet and everything there. She said that later this year that there will be like an animation. There might be something more released later about like how much it cost and things like that, but they weren't able to disclose that. But yeah, it's too bad it wasn't lighter out, but you guys get the idea. But pretty much this has been known since the last day of Boomerang, or at least I knew that, and I was informing you guys about that.
Oh my god, the community tester.
But I just want to let you guys know I wouldn't just like post something just because I like heard it from some Joe Blow or whatever. So I wouldn't lead you guys astray.
Well, you need a
Sorry.
No, it's already there.
Oh, the weather is
I'll ask them about Sky Cabin. Here we are outside. Let me find someone that I can ask. Well, he's way over there. So they took out all this and the gift shop. And from what it looks like, it's actually gonna, if you look at my Instagram photo, it cuts part of the Midway out and stuff like that. See if I can do this, because like this is gonna be tricky. I'm trying to like talk really loud. There's like still music playing in the park. I don't know why they didn't cut that out, but I might have to mute this in a second. I don't know. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, let's see here. Hold on.
No, because I actually don't even know. I honestly don't even know. So.
Alright, so it's complicated. Okay, well.
I don't think it's a hidden conversation. I just don't know the timing of when the switch goes.
So I'm gonna ask him right now and see what this is.
So they've started construction already on the other one, so you can see it.
Oh, okay, so
they did a groundbreaking, so
property swap, so you'll get some land.
No, I'm Kevin.
Kevin?
Yes.
Okay, and what's your last name?
Wynn. W-Y-N-N-E.
So
Y.
Oh, I'm sorry. W-Y-N-N-E.
Correct.
Usually when you hear Wynn around here, it's N-G-U-Y.
I know, exactly.
So you threw me for a second. Okay.
That's right, yes.
So I have a question. Do you, are they going to reopen Sky Cabin, or are they taking that out for the coaster too? Or?
No, plan is to have Sky Cabin reopen as well.
Okay, perfect.
You had a question about that.
Okay, so there you guys have it. They're going to reopen Sky Cabin. I mean, I wouldn't be too upset if they had taken that out and made more room for the coaster, because, you know, bigger the better. I would say go big. Go knots, but that's Six Flags thing. Here is the Boardwalk Barbecue. This is where we ate. This is gonna be for the guests. We went in here before. They had really good food. So let's go back in here. They're doing some more announcements.
So surfboard.
Oh, awesome. Cool, thank you. So we got USB surfboard with all our stats and images. Oh, yes, perfect. Thank you. And a HangTime hat. Oh, and we got a cake, desserts, HangTime cake. That's a cool cake. And then I'll pick one.
Of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
And then we got Snoopy. I gotta put this down somewhere. Hold on. That's what it looks like at night. This is during the day. There's another surfboard. So it was just what you saw earlier, but with sound this time. You can see the says Ride the Tide on the drums here.
Most of you are back. We did talk about the color of the track and the color of the columns, and you asked why. Well, here's the reason why. We went in this ride. If you look over at Supreme Scream, and you remember when it opened, we actually had different colors on the ride. And then on Memorial Day, we switched it over to red, white, and blue. Well, we're doing the same thing with this coaster. There actually will be a nighttime lighting package on here that can be changed thematically. So go ahead and change it over. And the columns are chosen for that reason, is to make the columns pop and actually then make the track be one color. As the train is going around the ride, you'll actually have chasing lights go around the track. So you'll actually be able to track it as you're going. With the fact that it is a changing lights, you have the full color spectrum, being that they are LED lights. We can do overlays for Halloween Haunt, we can do overlays for Christmas, we can change the colors, just like we'll be able to do for Supreme Scream. So we are moving to LEDs on this ride. We will have the image up here on the screen. It also is shown to the left. It actually is very washed out because of the Midway lights. When you actually will see it out there, the columns basically disappear, and you see a dark color track is what we're going with, and more of a chasing red-orange color going through the rides.
This is the red thing, actually. It's just hard to see, but this is the red.
So that's cool.
So
you guys heard that.
Right here
you
in
can
this
change
area,
the lighting
that's through the
to
LED
the
lighting
different types of holiday.
We are working directly with the manufacturer, so these lights are actually permanently attached to the actual ride as part of the design. So the manufacturer is working hand in hand with the lighting company to deliver this for us. Any questions on the lighting?
Any thoughts of doing this on other coasters?
Yeah, I remember Mel Boomer.
We'll see how
people complained that didn't have enough theming. I liked it though.
So I have one question.
Supposedly Mel Boomer is still in their warehouse.
What else happened?
They don't want to sell it to any other park because then they can claim, oh, it's from Disneyland or California Adventure, whatever.
Season passes. Season passes. Now that we have the ride here, season passes are on sale. So make sure you come and get those. We talked about the fun picks. You can add those onto your season pass package, and we'll be on this ride as well as the other ones. So the 16th is very important for us because we're kicking off 2018, and it's on sale now.
But I'm sure they could make some sort of agreement saying that you can't say that it's from Disneyland.
Touch a little bit more
like
on that, because this is a brand new restaurant facility for us.
Agreement saying that they can't disclose where it came from. I don't know.
Great meal tonight. So here to talk a little bit more about the food is the Director of Foods, John June.
It's opening summer of 2018, they said.
That was a better applause than the ride guys. How did everybody enjoy their dinner tonight? Can I get some
Sorry
shouts?
guys, I'm
What was
adjusting
some of
my
your favorite
tripod.
items that you guys tried here at the boardwalk? The salad from the vegan, I like that. The pulled pork, okay. Pulled pork with the boysenberry barbecue sauce. That's probably one of the most popular ones I see come through Boardwalk Barbecue. So we're very excited about this restaurant. If you guys remember what it was before, this is light years beyond what it was. We have some fabulous equipment inside the Boardwalk Barbecue. We have some top-of-the-line smokers that we're just having so much fun with, trying out all different things. Some of the menu items that you guys try here tonight are going to change over the course of the season.
I thought they weren't supposed to smoke except in certain designated areas.
For the Boysenberry Festival, for our Mary Farm events, and so on. We're practicing with things like briskets, smoking your own turkey, wings, you name it. So the sky's the limit with this kitchen. I have one more food and beverage surprise for you guys. Once you guys are all done here, we have some fabulous HangTime cupcakes and a nice slab cake that our bakery produced here on farm. So this kitchen does a lot of food from scratch, like most of the food here in the park. All the sauces are made from scratch. It was all developed by our culinary team, our executive chefs, our executive sous chefs, all created the recipes from scratch. All the rubs that we have for the pork shoulders, for the ribs, and for the chicken, also all made from scratch. So we pride ourselves
we don't have to know what's in the shed. That was a big letdown.
And Boardwalk is also part of the dining plan. Does anybody hear of the dining plan? A few hands going up. So a lot of great options on there, and we'll keep changing that out all throughout. So thank you guys very much for your support, and looking forward to seeing you guys throughout the park.
All that yummy food is a very special cocktail over there. Those of you who haven't enjoyed it yet, called HangTime. So enjoy the party. We will have interviews available to the right, as well as a great photo op. So enjoy. We're here till 9:30. We'll have the band come back out and have a good time. Thanks, everyone.
I wish they invented phones with scent and stuff like that. I don't know. So that's it. Make sure you guys subscribe. They're gonna start playing music again, so if you guys haven't subscribed, do that. And like this video, share it. And I will have more stuff for you updated tonight for parks that have unveiled things and stuff like that. So stay tuned. Bye.